Hey everyone, we are back on our first week of December. Today's the 7th. How you been? How you doing? I am. I need a moment. Currently watching the kiddos right now until mom comes back. Keep my ear open for that. Oh, but while I'm waiting for that boo. So for those who haven't been able to keep up on anything that I've been doing, this month's gonna be just a end of year recap. I want to do an annual thing where I just, we do a check-in. It's a follow-up of what went through the year, what'd you take in, what did I take in, applied, and what to look forward to for the following year. For us now, in this point in time, we are looking forward to 2024. So. Yeah, for whoever stopped in, how you doing? I'm just writing some stuff out. I gotta keep my ear on the kids right now, and then I'll start here in a little bit. Mom, oh. Plans changed today, so I'm on daddy duty right now. Grab some more water, and that should be good. Right back. Alright, I think I am good to start some. Give everybody some some. Hold on. Okay, now. Oh boy. Okay. All right, so here we are, episode 17. We are 17 episodes in of BAFSAF for this year. I did start halfway in. Man, has it been a ride for me. So before we get we get into all that, let's go ahead and just wild is, yeah, it's been wild for real. I need to let's check something out, because okay. Wait, I was trying to. I don't like how the chat is. How it's just kind of flipped. Wait. The hell? Never mind. Okay. I thought it was flipped this entire time. So it was doing this weird thing before where it went up, all the new ones, it went upward, like it was flipped, but now it's going the way I want it to tonight, so I don't. No, this is fine. It worked itself out. It's fine. Because I'm used to it being like, it goes from top to bottom, it go old to new. No, new to old. It would go, yeah, it'd be new to old from top to bottom. Now it's old to new. How I want it, like normal people would read it for the on screen. Oh, I did it right. Anyway, segue back into, bam, you guessed it, weather time. All right, so just to get situated and comfortable here, if you are in the Wichita, Kansas, Midwest area, Let's see. Tomorrow, Friday the 8th, you're gonna be looking at a high of 60, low of 36, partly cloudy. So we're gonna stay a little warm. Getting back down to the cool on Sunday, high of 48, low of 26, partly cloudy. It's gonna be cloudy for most of the month. I'll just say that. Sunday the 10th, we're looking at a high of 50, low of 28. Monday the 11th, we're gonna be looking at a high of 53, low of 31. Tuesday the 12th, we're looking at a high of 51, low of 32. Wednesday the 13th, we're looking at a high of 49, low of 34. Thursday the 14th, looking at a high of 51, low of 37. Friday the 15th, we're looking at a high of 50, low of 34. Saturday the 16th, high of 47, getting cooler in this following week, low of 31. Sunday 17th, high of 46, low of 32. Monday the 18th, high of 41, low of 31. As well as the Tuesday the 19th, high of 49, low of 32. Wednesday the 20th, high of 47, low of 21. And Thursday, on our return to BAFSAF, high of 47, low of 31 again. And it's going to be a cloudy month. Be a cloudy month. So I did see on the calendar officially as of the 21st or 22nd, winter has begun. Winter is coming. Or however else you guys say it from that show. I don't know. I've only seen reference. So I don't actually know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, all right, like I said, I gotta keep the ear on the kids. Like I said earlier, this is just a for this first session of December, seeing as how the 21st falls before, obviously before Christmas Day, but it's the Thursday beforehand, so it gives me time to open about Christmas. Then I won't, share it too early, so we'll go ahead and just, talk about how the year went and how the year will go, how we want it to go for 2024. For those who are still writing the dates on papers, make sure you start practicing writing 2024 now, because come January 1st, it's gonna have to change. How was I doing? So, okay. Threw me off. Oh yeah. So the year. Wow. 2023. Holy shit. It was the better of the years, I would like to say, for coming out of COVID. My goodness, where do I begin? I had a really nice job. It was a decent job. It was nice. I'll say it was nice. It was easy for me. I learned everything pretty early on. But there was a shift in the dynamic here at home, and wife wanted to take over. I was perfectly fine with staying home and doing nothing. I'm tired of working. I have no idea what it is, but the idea of working, I despise. The fact that we have to put in all this labor for money, it's like an allowance. That's really what it is. We're getting an allowance for continuing the cycle of economy for America. And it's just crazy. I've mentally, and I want to say spiritually, but I'm not really sure yet, but I know mentally, I'm just at a point where I'm this is why I understand people when people say I have an old soul. I guess, I'm not saying this is everyone that's old, but like I've hit a point in my life where I'm tired. And I've been tired, but I don't know. I don't see the point in putting in efforts like the ones that we're used to, that we call the normal, well, not used to, efforts that we call normal, to gain, you know, to survive, just basic necessities. I don't see, you know, but again, anything that has a price on it is all material, no matter what it is. It's material, like anything. Uh, Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff is what we need: clothes for the winter, food for ever, um, water. Not to get off topic here, I'll close it out with my point. Point is that I've hit a point this year more than any other year where it's not that I'm tired of working and I want a better job. Like, I'm tired of working, period. But I know it needs to be done. So I'm not saying I won't work. I'm just tired of it. The point of it, the point and the meaning of success has all but passed us. And the more I hear people talk about their definition of success and just their idea of a successful person, or how they feel like they're successful, and it's all based on material. I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way, but not in a sense that I look down on anyone or I find myself superior. It's just that I don't know. Bottom line is, I don't seek a lot of that anymore. Like, I've never really been the one to be like, oh, I want to travel and see the world, know what it's about. Like, I don't know. I feel like, me personally, I can dream what is of the world, but people actually want to go see it firsthand to understand things like that. I don't need that. I have this talk with my wife every now and then, and doesn't really understand, so it kind of upsets her, because she's a traveling type. She wants to get around and see things. She wants to be able to, know that it's real. I can see that in pictures and be like, cool, like, I mean, there's little things I'll be like, oh, that'd be nice to see, but I don't know. I don't seek sightseeing, I guess I should say. Another thing is, getting the nice, super fancy cars, clothes, or, getting big homes, a lot of space for no reason. Like, who's gonna clean the house? Who's gonna dust it? And then you're like, oh, we got maid service. Oh, if you can't take care of your own stuff, you don't deserve to have it. That's just me. But that's just where I'm at. I think I'm becoming very minimalistic, but I like my technology. I like my electronics to a certain point. Like, I won't invest any time in AI. I've not once touched anything AI related, to my knowledge. There's just some things I won't pass. But I think I'm hitting that point. Old soul, I'm here. Old soul. Where I've found the technology that I like, and I'll stick with it. And I say old soul because I remember working for my IT job before I left, and you come to understand that there's a lot of people who still believe and depend on cable boxes. They won't stream. They won't. I mean, they don't have, one, the capacity, two, the desire, three, the will how to understand and learn the knowledge of being able to operate streaming devices or even a smart TV. Now, for a lot of us, we're like, it's easy. You press boom, 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 and you're good. To someone else who doesn't know it, that's a chaotic situation. And you can hear it in their voice. They have no desire to want to stream or use a streaming device. They want that cable box because that's what they learned. That's what they've come to understand. They won't go any further than that. Now, I'm not saying I won't push past a lot of electronics. Some of them are cool, but a lot of them, they're just like, does it really? I don't know. I think some things are just like, I mean, that's a cool idea, but did we need that? My parents asked me how to do everything. That's still my dad. Was just at his house. I had him. Okay, so he told me that when he bought his Alexa Dot, They had already programmed it to where all he needed to do was plug it in. I go there and he's telling me this as I'm plugging it up. It's already synced to all his devices. But what I was really over there for was he has this light lamp, or it's like RGB lamp. It's like a rod that has lights. I mean, I had to put it together and then plug it in and then sync it to his other, like his new Echo Dot and then other devices. But that's what I really was over there for. But you know, stuff like that. I've seen a lot of streamers and even people just, you know, being normal. They'll get these RGB lights and string them all through their house. I don't. That's a lot of electricity. Even if it's not, I just, you know, I think I don't need the lights. I just don't need the lights. We're starting way earlier now, in my opinion, to where I don't know what's going on with tech currently. I feel like I get that, but to me, a lot of things kind of are all the same. So I feel like I always have this sense of being able to connect one thing to another, and then thus being able to understand it in a sense. But once you understand that things are all kind of similar in operation and in structure, it just kind of comes easy. And, oh, and you're asking the youngins. I can't laugh as if I don't know. I laugh because I know. During the whole wedding process, my sister and her now husband, they had this thing through Google services. I guess they use in college now that I've never known about, but this thing called Google Spread or Google Sheet or something, where it's pretty much just like Excel for Google. But they were asking me if I knew anything about it. I was like, what the hell are you even talking about? And they're like, oh, you don't know? Like, no, the fuck I don't. And but then they're like, oh no, you know, we use this in school all the time. I was like, bitch, I'm not in school. And I don't use Google like that. I mean, but it's not just school that uses it, you know, companies will use it and all that. I just don't use Google like that. I stick to Google searches, Gmail, my saved stuff, you know. I don't really venture out too much past. And I don't play with it either. I don't sit here and play with Google. I got too much stuff to do. Like, there's a lot of stuff that Google has now, but I don't invest the time to learn it because I don't need it. Anyway, John says I'm old, 1930s old. I get ID'd still. I do too. For what? I was 23, still getting told I look like 17, and now people are telling me I look 23. I'm 32. I still stand out on a campus. I have no idea what is being used at all. It's kind of like you have to be there kind of thing now. Because, look, I've never seen an out. Get teenager oddly. I'm not gonna lie, I find it weird that people think you're a teenager just because of the facial hair. But it also could be the facial hair because they might see a lot of kids with what you got going on and your hair. It's weird because a lot of people will associate, like, if your hair doesn't look a certain way, or if they say like it doesn't look done, they're like, oh, he's a kid, college. Where the hell was I at? Oh yeah, but it just I realize I'm like stretching this topic, but yeah, no, I just I guess I understand where I know where my investments want to go. Things look cool, but oh no. All right, should be the last of my interruptions. Mommy's home. But on here, I haven't even started. All right. Anyway, shit. Now I know what benefits me, and I think right now in the time of my life, I know things are going to be fun to have, and then moving on. But yeah, that's one thing that's changed with me. Another thing that's changed is the shit that I put up with on a daily basis, i.e., this entire stream. Fuck. Anyway. Yes, man, yeah, so in turn of working, my wife taking over, I was able to kind of just take a break. I think a break that I needed for a long time. I've worked diligently since I was 17 years old, and you know, each job that I went to, I would pretty much, there was like 2 jobs, but they were seasonal and they didn't really care for me. I was pretty much like the overachiever. You know, oh, if you needed someone to stay, I'll stay. I was the reliable, dependable, late one. And I'm always gonna be late. That's just me, you know. I know I'm supposed to show up sometime. I tell myself to get ready 30 minutes before. But being home with the kids, it was definitely a game changer for sure. And honestly, I think really being home was what really set in stone my belief within myself about just the workforce in general. You know, just the ideology of work as a human, not just an American, but as a human. Um, and all a lot of the conspiracies surrounding it. Just the fact that economy, the idea of economy, money, all that. I started to despise it the more I was away from it, and for my own reasons. But other things that have changed. A lot more to discuss as we go down the line. I'm gonna try to stay on. I'm trying to stay. What's the word? In order. Let's try to stay in order here. So, since I've started streaming, and with some of the because I didn't actually get back to social media until I started streaming. I didn't really care for it. Why did I stop? Because of everything that you see on social media. If you haven't taken a break since 2017, understand why I stopped. I honestly myself wasn't even the best. I had a lot of toxic posts, and I was doing that thing that we did as youngins, where we would make indirect posts, and I was one of those people. I didn't do a lot of them, but I did use social media as an outlet for my pain and anger. The degree that my post took, though, from 2017, wow. I went from posting a little to a lot. Comedy kind of went weird, and then I started posting like conspiracy stuff, spiritual stuff, and then when I felt my life taking a sharp turn, I started posting sexual content. And then I was posting NSFW stuff because people would tell me they were checking their social media at work and they had to zip past my post. I started doing this shit on purpose because people were like, yo, I can't look at my phone at work when it comes to your post. Well, there's more where that came from. And I enjoyed every little bit of it until I finally got to the point where I was like, including myself, this has all become very repetitive and very nonsense. And I gave it up. I let it go for a while. I just got tired of seeing myself be what I was despising. Couldn't handle it. Not only with social media, but with a whole bunch of stuff. But all in good turn. I had to learn. I wouldn't say the hard way, and it wasn't easy, but I did learn how to be better. So leading up to all that, all the way up to the first episode where I poured my heart out, I was allowing myself to be the most vulnerable that I had been in ages. Outside of my relationship and close friendships. It had been a while since I had been so vulnerable. So I'm usually, the backbone or the support system, but then for me to be like, I've got some stuff, and then be able to actually say everything I wanted to say without interruption, without misdirection, being misunderstood, or just shut out. It was I enjoyed it. And that's why the first 2 episodes were so heavy. Thanks to Sean's help. I wouldn't say help. Input. It really was help. With the attention it got, it was helpful. But also the vulnerability was helpful as well. I do mean help. So yeah, I do mean help. But in the sense, it was a very hard hitting first couple of episodes, to which we were both like, gotta lie in the mood. That was a funny conversation. But leading up to the first episode was I never thought I would have made it that far. And I know I've said it before. I'll say it again because I can say it and be like, yeah, shit was wild. I was, ooh, your boy was out there, man. I was out there. But to be able to see where I'm at now, I'm just like, hey, I'm glad I made it. Now, when history repeats itself and I'm able to look back from the future to the past, I'm gonna be proud of myself all over again, you know? Next life over. It's all part of the process though, because like I understand when we go through trials, tribulations, and obstacles like that, that's not only the story for ourselves, but that's the experience that we can share for people who also struggle amongst us. You know, it's not always our own struggle. We went through it, but we're not the only ones who go through it. That's just the way I see it. You know, not, and it's not every time. There's a lot of times where you're just, you know, you got the short end of the stick, and that's unfortunate. But a lot of times, what you go through will help someone else in the long run who is going through what you've already been through. And I feel like that's what it is. You know, you just pass the information down, so it's easier. So like I feel like it's like this. You're just alleviating for that to ever happen again. When you're feeding that information, you're just dissolving the chance that could ever happen to anyone else ever again, because you're increasing the chances of, what's the word? Not resistance. I don't know, but yes. But yeah, I just yep. I didn't forget what I was talking about. Nope. Not at all. So, you know, we spoke about things like motivation. That was one of the few major topics outside of the first two episodes. Decisions, being an introvert or an extrovert. And just recently, seasonal shifts in your emotions, seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD, also known as seasonal depression. We've gone through all topics like that. Couple more positive than they were enlightening, but all of them were just ones that I felt, in hindsight, of what I was seeing, experiencing, or wanted to help get some attention on. Wanted to do my part, which there's so much more to talk about, and there's so much more topics to come. I can't wait for the next year to, you know, to start, because I'm gonna start getting a little deeper into my topics, you know, less kind of. I felt like the topics were easy, and I also didn't really do well because I didn't allow myself the best time to research or implement any research that I saw. I was very last minute, but you know, I definitely want to get into stuff more in depth, like I can get some people's attention better. And I also learned, you know, I think I'm doing a lot better now because my videos aren't 4 hours long. I understand the assignment, and it won't be that way ever again. Trust me, it sucked having to edit them, and I'm making sure I edit them down way more better. But also, I'm not on here forever. That was crucial. One of the major setbacks was thinking I was gonna be like Joe Rogan and have hours long podcasts published on YouTube and think people are gonna watch it. And another mistake I was making is I was trying to aim for my peers. Something else I learned: don't do that. Like, because the way you want to think about it is like this. Let's say you take a piece of artwork to work, right? Let's say you take something that you've done or you made or you created, You take it to work or you take it to school and you sit down with it. How many people are just walking by going, oh, that's nice? That is the exact perception you must have when it comes to what you're doing for social media. They go, oh, that's cute. Roll. Oh, that's nice. Walk. Same thing. Hey, what you got going on there? Okay. Go. Only a few people that are your peers will sit down and go, what was the mindset behind it? They'll ask the hard hitting questions because they really want to know. And then they'll be like, I'm looking forward to seeing more from you. Now let's say you had 100 people walk by. You'll keep 5. When you're looking for your peers think that they're being supportive. But then you have the ones who show support. Good one for me to write down. You have peers who will claim to be supportive, but then you have the ones that show support. I like that. I'm recording this. I don't know why I'm. But through all those topics, I definitely want to make sure that they get better. I really like the ones that I chose, but I'm gonna put more time into selecting the topics because now you understand who I am in a sense, what I'm about. Now we're gonna get into what I think about, what I feel strongly about, or get into more of the controversy because I would like more engagement with the socials and the chat when I'm streaming. So a lot of times it's disagreement that brings people together, so we can get some controversies and nothing too heavy, nothing political. Politics or controversy on its own. So another thing that really I really enjoyed was being able to bond with the viewers, and not with just BAFSAF and Sketch and Catch, but also game streaming as well. Again, it's to understand me is like I can acclimate myself into a setting. I'm never necessarily the one who is pursuant with conversation or who is the most outgoing in a group setting. It's almost like you have to talk or acknowledge me, talk to me or acknowledge me if conversation to be had. It may take me some time to like say something to toss in the air for someone to respond to. I think when I would get no response, a lot of it was just because I didn't project. Yeah, people wouldn't hear me. They'd be like, oh wait, did you say something? It could also be I was probably intimidating them. Like they didn't expect me to be nice. I don't know. Can't really say because the each scenario was a little different. But like the people that I've met, people that I frequent, just streaming, really shows me that I'm doing something. Not for just the channel's success, but for myself and for the people that I can talk to. Like I'm making genuine bonds. I'm making stronger bonds with the bonds I've already got, and I think it's just because I can show that side of me that's free, and I'm able to say what I want, and I have no restrictions, and I don't feel the need to be disrespectful, but I'm also aware. But I like being able to be understood, and if I'm not understood, at least I'm just accepted. Which, don't get me wrong, people have done that for me with my circle of friends before, and people I've met. They've done that for me, but it's just something about. Yes, you do. Thank you, Sean. It's just something about people who find you interesting enough to like stop and say, "Hey, how you been?" and just sit there and watch you do whatever or say whatever. I don't get a kick out of it in a sense that of like, oh, I've got viewers, I've got followers. It's like I've got people who actually want to hear what I have to say. I got people who actually want to like share themselves. That was too the other thing. The chat is a little slow, isn't? Okay. I think it's just slow for you. Is it? Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the first time I've ever done this. Okay, you get one. But no, it's definitely it's so. I'll say this: streaming is so much different, and people think whatever people think, right? It's not all that you think it is. Um, like, it's tough. It's tough, and I've had plenty of talks with Sean where I'm just like, dude, I don't know, man, and he's talking me through it, you know. And man, I really appreciate being able to have him for that. And anyone else I've spoken to, but honestly, I really think it's just Sean though, because no one else gets it. When you said I don't want to be disrespectful is when I typed out I do. Oh, okay. Okay. And I just reset the chat too. It's okay. It'll be late. But yeah, no, I think the thing, okay, I think the thing you have to understand is like having the it. Nah, I got you. Having the it to not only be funny, but also be the one that gets people's attention on social media. For instance, like if you were popular on Vine, that from people who weren't your people. If you were popular on YouTube, making videos, if you were popular from people that weren't your people. If you have a popular social media account from people that aren't your people, meaning anyone local, anyone that you've been to school with, being around town, met through other friends, work, met through family, like people from other states, other countries. Unless you, and even being the popular kid of school, you know, like because there's only a handful of them when you go to school. There's only one or two of them when you go to work. So understanding the ratio in that, and then understanding how hard it would be, how much harder it would be for social media. And I was like, you know, I had a whole thing planned. I didn't have a plan. I had a goal. I had goals, right? I'm gonna tell you all my goals. I forgot I even wrote them down. I'm reading my goals, and I told myself that my video should be 2 hours minimum. Oh my gosh. That's funny. I didn't even listen to myself. That's fucking hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh boy, that is so funny. Where the I had projections somewhere. Ah, here we go. Right here. Damn. All right, so as far as my projections go, music, playing playlists, make beats. If making beats can treat as open discussion, I did that. I did that right. He said he'd be in for a little tonight. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so here goals right here. Month one, 5 follows, 1 sub. I didn't actually understand what would it take to get a sub for people to sub to you, subscribe. I don't even think I'm actually able to do that right now. I don't. I don't know. I don't think people can actually subscribe to me yet because I'm not an affiliate. But because now I'm like I don't. Okay, yeah, I don't have a button yet. I don't think I have a delay for the chat. Self-conscious about the chat time now. So yeah, because I'm not an affiliate, I'm not able to get subscribers. That's all right. Because I understand people have to pay for it, and I know that would have been frugal for me, but I also know that I need to step up my topic game, my content game, if I want people to pay for me. If I want people to pay for me easy, I'll just get on OnlyFans. You want to see my titty? No, I'm playing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let me know. That way I know. So all right. So I said 1 month was 5 follows, 1 sub. I think the first month I got, well, the first month was kind of easy because everyone that was like, oh, hey, I'll show love, they actually did. So that one was pretty cool. Within 3 months, I'd have 20 follows and 5 subs. I'm not even gonna read the subs anymore because this was all. Well, no, I want you guys to know where my head was at, and I also want to remind myself how easy I thought this would have been. Within 6 months, I thought I'd have 50 follows and 10 subs, and in 1 year, which I'm only halfway there. This is my 6 months. June, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, I'm on like month 6 or 7 right now. I'm almost there. But I fucking. I'm on. Anyway, yeah, I have. And you know what? I told myself to make this a accomplishment, an achievement. Thank you for everyone that's been a part of this so far. I have 30 followers. That's awesome. That's all you guys. I really appreciate it. And I'm very appreciative of it. I have 30 Twitch followers. I've got 18 subscribers on YouTube, which is dope. And then Tess, do another one. Maybach music. I feel like it's going better. No, mate. Back. Bach. Oh, are you just trying to get me to say it right? Maybach? Clearly it's working. And then 1 year I told myself I'd have 200 followers and 20 subs. So I need 50 to become an affiliate. So I'm only 20 away from that. Yeah, I got you. I realized that after you put a block, I was like, oh, okay. Gotcha. So, yeah, I need 50 followers to become an affiliate, and then it changes for me. But as soon as I get there, we in there. So, just a tip. Let's see. I wanted to keep the topics fun and light, interact with viewers, polls, guest stars, Discord, question mark, in chat questions, shout out plugs. I could write stuff down. For the most part, I followed the itinerary. We live from the comfort of my blankets. I still think it's funny that I had this time frame that this threshold I didn't want to pass, and I even with the gaming part, I said 2 hours. But yeah, that's and what's crazy is that, moving on, I didn't actually think that I'd be doing anything else with anyone, but I was approached by Trey, who Catch and Catch featuring Trey, that he wanted to learn and understand what it was to stream so he could do it himself. And what an amazing journey that has been, because he was already cool peoples, but we have become much closer bros now than we were before. And that was an actual, I don't really know how to describe it. It was really cool that I was able to get his approach, because I already wanted to put art somehow in how I stream, but I just couldn't figure it out. And this way, like, we're both kind of testing the waters with ourselves. Like, I'm testing how I would do art, once he does his own thing. Well, I mean, like, we'll still be doing our thing, but like, to know what I can and would like to do outside of him, and then he knows what to do on his own outside of me. But that all happened within, like, what, first 2-3 months? Can't remember, but that was also a learning experience, which was actually pretty cool though, because to see all the things that he's made, and then it also helped me get back into drawing and to be more serious and passionate about it. So I can't be more grateful enough for him and the entire collaboration that we have together. Another big standout for me this year was getting the Tekken 8 closed test code, TNT. I was overly hyped about it for fucking good reason. That game is phenomenal. The franchise is phenomenal. I am an avid Tekken fan. I'm okay as far as skill goes, but I will love it regardless. I've always wanted to be part of a Tekken tournament, but I've never actually gotten better enough to where I would be comfortable to try. But you never know until you try. So I think this year I'll take the opportunity to, since I'm getting it early with the start of the game, I'm getting it early. I'm gonna throw my hat in one of the little tournaments to see how far I go. That way I can learn some stuff and be better and know how to get into the bigger tournaments where they sponsor. I don't want to do a whole lot for the rest of my life. I really don't. To be honest, I don't. I'm saying, got my heating pad. honestly, nah, bro, own that G. That was dope as fuck. You got it, and it was dope that you got Harry Potter. That was insane, and we got it at the same, well, around the same time. Because I told you I went. Well, no, I in the stream I was talking about how I signed up and didn't get picked until the last test for Xbox One. But yeah, no, like, it was like a couple weeks, a week or two, when you were telling me about yours that I got handpicked. It was dope. To share that information with each other, that was dope. Like, I was like, yeah. Me and the boys, we out here testing shit for your pleasure. um, I I am one person that can be content in one place and make it work. Um, but we ended up moving, and I have to get comfortable with that. I'm one person. I hate moving. One, because I hate moving. Two, I think honestly, I get content with being in one spot. Like I said, I can make things work, but the idea of moving, every time I know I have to do it, it upsets me more to where I don't want to at all. John says I'm the opposite. Being content in one spot. Yeah, that's Daniel too. He has to move around and do stuff. I honestly, like, I get it. I get why people like to move around, you know? But at the same time, I don't me personally, because I can sit still, I don't understand why people can't. Like, to move around and see stuff, yeah, I get that. But when people are like, I just can't sit here in silence. I can't just chill, like, I gotta get up and do something. Or other people are always like, oh, I gotta be out and about. Um, I've got plenty that I need to do and want to have around me. I'm okay with being alone and in one spot. Every now and then, just get up and move around and stretch, but you know, I don't crave going out. John says I'm always going to think I'm going to get up rooted somewhere. On that point, I'm kind of neutral. Okay. What do you mean by uprooted? Sorry, I got this read. Okay. Oh, okay. For all my anime fans, if I can put it into a different perspective, if I resonate with anyone in the history of anime, it would probably be Shikamaru from Naruto. The hair, the attitude. I just want to chill. I don't know. Over time of being able to watch that show, in most of its entirety, I've never actually felt that I resonate with one character more. Like, there's other characters that I would like to be like. There are characters that I know that I am, as far as drive and passion, but like on like a spiritual level, I think I'm fucking Shikamaru. I don't want to do nothing. I feel like he's one of few though. Shikamaru gets me. I've also been very proud in my progress with not only music but DJing. Um, I've gotten a lot out the way, and there's more to be done, but there's more to come. But like the more I've done, and the more it needs to be finished, is exactly, like I have a plan. Like I have sticky notes of how I've separated everything as far as the content that's gonna get published. Cross some of this off because I've completed some things. Not the music, but some things. Oh wait, no. 1 of 3. So, I told myself by the end of the year I would finish and publish 8 to 10 songs. But I have 1, 2. No. I finished that one. See, I'm not even writing stuff off here. 1, 2, 3. I've already finished a couple songs and didn't realize it, but I told myself to finish 8 to 10. To actually like finish, like to just like put out and publish, they were pretty much done. I need 3 more. To mix and master and then publish, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know what this last one is. I don't even know if that's 1 or not. But yeah, I'm on track. I've just been focusing a lot on streaming and everything else. That I feel like I haven't done a lot, but I've put a lot of content on the back end right now because there's a lot to be done, but I need that. I need that awakeness, that clarity, I should say. I need that clarity to know. I'm trying not to rush things, because when I rush them, I go back and hear them. I'm just like, I should have did this, I should have did that, which I can edit and I can re-edit everything. It's just a process. I feel like I'd be more satisfied if it's a one and done thing. But if I know there's something I need to fix, I'll fix it with the next thing. Instead of fixing the one thing that's already messed up, I'll fix it on the next thing. My mindset is weird in that aspect, but yeah. But overall, I know I need to put out another mix for the year. My mixes are they're only getting better, but I'm gonna actually start implementing mixes to be club ready, because eventually, here in the next year or two, I'm gonna start playing in my local clubs, or at least try to. A couple times just to kind of test the water, see where I'm at with it, because playing at my sister's wedding, it kind of gave me a refresher how things are, with more of a in my expertise area, with the demographic, with who was there, I should say. But all in due time, right? Everything's a work in progress. As long as I keep practicing and keep constructing my music to be. I mean, and the thing is, when it comes to people who go to clubs, bars, and you DJ for them, people like to hear what they've already heard. Nostalgia. Of course, some people like to hear the new stuff, but no one's really paying attention to the new stuff. They go in, they find their friends, they get the drinks, and then once they've wind down, they hear the music, and then they're ready to have fun. Unless you're coming in late, and then the first thing you want to hear is the music, because you want to make sure that the place you're going to is popping or already fun for everyone. My mental and emotional maturity have grown tremendously, to the point to where I am more than fully aware where my faults were 5 years ago, as opposed to where I believed my faults were 5 years ago. I can look back on things now and be like, you know what? Like, I can see things differently. And I can tell myself now, like, this situation could have been better if I reacted this way, or if I did less of this, or I was no more on the right then than I understand that I am and was back then. Now, there were certain events or even people where I'm like, that shouldn't have happened on my end, and I'm an asshole for that. Or like people. Yeah, acting like that sibling that comes in your room and leaves it open. Like, lock my door. But I guess when I say this, I never really back then allowed myself to sit and think. I take that back because I was conscious about a lot of stuff that I did, but I would also be like, I don't. I think I would sometimes say I don't care, or I would just be like, well, you know, what I did was what I did. What's done is done. Instead of sitting there and saying I was wrong to make that mistake and I will do better next time. I'd be like, well, you know, I messed up, but let's try not to do that again. I'd say it in a pompous tone. Now, you know, looking back and now with any mistakes that I make now, I can just be like, well, I shouldn't have done that. And we need to find ways to do better. And I take more of a improving approach. And also, if the happenstance serves me correct, also apologetic. As far as emotional, like I said, I've been vulnerable to be able to just kind of like let out more instead of letting out to just certain people. Because as we, you know, anyone who's been like me, you know, you don't share a lot of your feelings with people you don't really know because, as you're aware from other people in your past, they've used your emotions against you. Your own pain and misery can be someone else's weapon at you. So it's a hama sui. Yeah, I won't say the word. Apparently, you can get flagged for it, but stupid. But yeah, it's a defense mechanism. Not saying it was great or good at all, but it's just when you know people have taken advantage of you for feeling how you feel, you don't let anyone in unless you can trust them. Because if you let anyone in and you can't trust them, then one, that takes a toll on you, and you begin to beat yourself up because you go, here I go making the same mistake, and that can get dark really quickly. But also, you take that out on either the person that took advantage of you, or you take it out on the next person. All that I've done. And I wouldn't take it out in ways that are normally seen and experienced. I wouldn't take it out in a way of anger. I'd take it out in a way of pleasure. And a lot of times I made my stance that I didn't want to get into anything serious. But me being me, I'm more on the passionate side. So I know I probably gave mixed signals, but all in all, I think if I knew, well, I had a pretty good understanding when things were getting too heavy. I bailed, but I think my bail could have been more of a conversation rather than just dropping it and saying, "Well, I told you so. You didn't listen, so now I'm leaving without notice, or now I'm not speaking to you without notice." I could have been like, "Hey, look, I see that this is getting somewhere, and I've already discussed how I don't blah 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 blah." It could have went like that, but that's what I'm saying. I'm at a point in my life where I can actually make those things happen. I can make those conversations happen if anything were to happen. Like if there was an altercation out in public with me and someone, let's say I bumped into someone's shoulder and they were like, "Yo," it may have been like an off day and they're, "Hey, you bumped into me, blah blah." I'd be like, "Yo, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. That was an honest mistake." Now, whether or not they leave it there, that's up to them. But that was a bad example. Yeah. I was normally like that anyway. I never actually wanted to be the one who caused problems, but I like to settle them. I think the better example, which I don't know why I'm giving you guys multiple examples. I feel like you all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I do better with finding a resolution and understanding that I can not alleviate. I can pull myself out of a situation if I see that there's something that I don't want. Oftentimes I would allow things to happen. I wouldn't say anything because I wanted to not upset anyone, but I would be the one angry about things happening that I didn't want. So I protected other people's feelings by hurting myself, and I try to protect my feelings by hurting others. But I saw it as pleasure for both parties. I'm no longer like that. I've come back to myself that I remember by knowing if it's not gonna happen or if it's not meant to be, I won't pursue it. I'll probably have interest, but I won't pursue it. That's for anything. Because I got to a point where I was just, nah, I want it my way, and that was not good. I used to always be like, "Oh, if it happens, it happens." I'm back to that now. But all in all, I even with my anger, I've come a very long way. I'm back to my calm, composed self. I can really see things out without getting super angry. I don't let my anger speak for the rest of my emotions. And also, I'm firm about my stances. In a sense that I don't have to pick an argument, I don't have to make an argument, but I will let someone know how I feel and that it's immovable. In the most firm, professional, kind way possible. I don't seek the thrill of action anymore. More so because I've always known what I'm capable to do to someone physically, but I've never really wanted to. I used to kind of be like, all right, if anything happens, I know what I need to do. But I don't have that thrill anymore because I know if something does happen, I'm prepared. I think I had that testosterone flowing through me to where I always wanted to test myself and see if I had it. Now I'm at a point where I know I do, but I won't always have it with everyone. Not always everyone's best day. So that, and I've got 4 kids. I don't need to have it with anyone unless they're in danger. And even then, I'm trying to maintain the wisdom to know when to act if ever my children or family were in danger. I'm constantly being tested anyway, but I know now when to act and when to react for the most part. To the point where composure is key. I'll say that composure is key, and I think I really did need the time to myself to understand that I was the kind of product of the accumulation of everyone's thoughts, feelings, experiences, because I was just that person that people could turn to. And internally, I'd be upset about the mistakes people were making because one, I wanted better for them. Two, I either made the same mistakes or I knew that I would in time make the same mistakes. And I wanted to make sure that people weren't as dumb as me. Um, it was just a vicious cycle of anger within myself, and eventually I got out of it. But I learned a lot from being in my head, but I also learned to sometimes stop, be present. Understanding how to be present when you've lived so long in your head is such a weird concept to understand, because you try to tell yourself, oh, there's nothing about me that isn't present, until you actually realize that when you're looking at yourself doing something. For me, for instance, I've done this recently, right? So doing the dishes, running water, period. Well, after like over time, I can kind of get into a zone of myself. For instance, a shower. I have a lot of great ideas in the shower. I feel like I've got like we've all tried it where we try to rap or sing in the shower. But like I've got the better flow when I'm in the shower, right? But doing the dishes or in the shower, even like swimming, I feel like my thoughts have more substance, more clarity. But I realize that I'm more in my head because of that. And there's a lot going on up there, right? So instead of allowing my thoughts to process, and I'm being able to see them and process them and engage in them, I tell myself to just stop, clear my mind, let the sounds soothe me rather than secure me. And when I'm looking at myself doing the dishes, instead of looking at my hand and sponge meet the plate and seeing and hearing my thoughts, all I'm seeing is my hand and sponge meet the plate. Seeing and hearing and feeling the water cascade over the plate to wash off the extremities that were on the dish. And I try to keep myself in that process until I'm done, because it's easy for me to go back into my head. Very easy. But I get this sense of peace when I do that. And like the light around the room kind of changes too when I find myself being present. When I silence my mind just for a moment, that momentary presence of myself feels good. Something that I should have done or allowed for a while. That I've always wanted, but now I've gained the ability to do so. I can shut out the noise. Not all of it was bad, but I mean, like, just the fact that it was so much going on that I would try to capture, I wasn't always there. But yeah, I definitely achieved that accolade for sure. And then finally, one big thing about this year was understanding the entire, which I'm not even fully versed in, but the entire process of, what's the word? Amateur streaming. What's the other word for amateur? Like an intro to streaming, so to speak. Like before becoming an affiliate, like it. I understand what to do, how to get the followers, how to get engaged, but also like doing your own video editing, making things pop so you get the attention, You make people understand that you don't only take yourself seriously, but you take your content seriously, which in turn makes them want to take you seriously as well. And then time management outside of having a job, my job being the house and the kids. Um, it's just the whole entire process of streaming. It takes a lot. And people do it for fun. Like, yeah, you know, I don't understand a lot of people's lifestyle, so I can't really say if it's easy or not. But for me, I have so much that I want to do, so that's what makes it harder. But I know that I have to work around a tight schedule, otherwise one mishap, one fall off, and I'm panicking because I feel behind and put a lot of pressure on myself that's unnecessary. One thing I need to understand is not to be so hard on myself. This is all a learning experience, and things are gonna get better in time, as long as I keep the substance of my content. So, with all that being said, very long-winded recap of the year. A few things that did stand out to me this year, though. One thing in particular that I realized that I was for everyone, and not just this year, but in like a 10-year span from now back. 10 years back, actually all my life. Since I've been conscious enough to help anyone, oh shit. So as I was saying, for most of my life, as I understand, I was conscious enough to be able to help people or give advice, blah blah, blah whatever that is, right? I know that for me, people have made me their projected reflections. What I mean when I say that is that anything that I wanted to do, people have reflected upon me their experiences with themselves. Let's say I was looking to start streaming, and I've had people say, that's stupid. There's no money in it. Is that something you really want to do? All doubt and very little support. And you know, no matter what it is, I would always try to find the line of support for anyone else doing what they want to do, you know? I'm never really going to expect people to support me like I would support some people, but not even a little bit. That's just an example though, you know, that no one's actually really giving me feedback on me streaming for them to be like, is this what you really want to do? Another one. In the face of a challenge, you can either retreat to a safe space or face the obstacles for the experience above all else. If it's challenging, you're doing something right. As we all know, we've heard the many phrases and beliefs that things are only hard if they're meant for you, or however you see it or heard it in any way. But for me personally, anything that has become challenging is something that I should know, something that I should endure. Anything that my soul is telling me to stop doing, I should listen to my gut. As far as everything that I want to pursue, the career choices that I've made, things have been challenging, but nothing's told me to stop. My mind has told me to stop, but not my gut. It's just that I get to a point to where I think I can honestly admit that it's overwhelming. And I put too much pressure on myself to finish, succeed, be, what I already am. And it takes time. I've started things at a later time frame than most people. And I have to learn the process. I have to learn the ins and outs of things. And I feel like I'm just trying to rush it all because in a small sense somewhere in the consciousness of me, want people to see that I've done well and am doing well. But really, to be able to tell myself that we made it. But I can't say that I made it if I don't know what making it feels like. So all this is just part of the story that'll let me understand when I've got to that point what made it. What made me make it. I've been able to access the more vulnerable part of myself on a deeper level. Not only that, but I've also been able to express it in a, I want to say casual manner, being able to just share it. Like I said, I didn't trust a lot of people to know my feelings, and now I can I'm a little better about opening up. I'm not who I used to be. I'm not who I remember. I'm refined. I say that because I remember before 20 something, I used to be kind of goofy, easy, always giggling, laughing. I had a sense of bubbly to my personality, but I think I was just more outgoing. And over time, I just got angry. And I let that anger consume me. But over time, I understood my anger. I understood that who I used to be, who I remember, is not dead, but is no longer. And I'm a more of a refined version of all versions previously. So the anger will always be there because it's more just like a passion for growth. But to see a mistake being made with myself and anyone else, I have to look at it differently, and I have to calm the hell down. But when I think about me being a refined version of who I used to be, I used to, when I say smile and cheesing, I was more outgoing. I had no idea how to deal with things that weren't easy. Like I have the ability to be understanding faster and to create more resolve. I think I was kind of naive in a sense with my resolve, but now I have a better way to provide a resolve in a neutral stance rather than a hyper supportive stance. Because, for example, let's say a female friend comes to me crying about a relationship, and I'm hyping her up. Oh, you deserve better. No man should be making you cry. You should be treated like a queen. Blah 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 blah. Right? I didn't ask any questions about the whole entire ordeal. Now the angry me would be like, yo, suck it the fuck up. We all get hurt. Find someone else and move on. No one wants to hear that. Refined me will ask questions. Neutral question. Because I want to understand the situation. I'm only getting one side and you're crying to me, but I don't understand why you're crying. So what happened? Who said what? How did this start? Is this the starting point, or is this all stemming from a smaller issue or a bigger issue that got swept under the rug? What part did you play in this entire ordeal? What part did your partner play in this entire ordeal? You understand that there would be things that you could do better. Now, with the situation that you're telling me, if it is the way it's that you're telling me, I recommend these things. That's how I see a conversation going now. Not overly supportive and naive, not unduly supportive and being a dick, but I'm going to understand the situation so you can understand not on one. If you come to me for investment, I'm going to be invested, but invested enough that doesn't affect me, but also lets you know I'm not there to enable you, but I'm going to help you out. My patience, wit, abilities, and perseverance have been and will be tested. I will continue to seek prosperity. As I was just mentioning earlier, I've had some challenges with music and DJing and streaming. I've had some doubts. I've had doubters. It's all part of the process. It's all entertainment. When people aren't entertained, they've got plenty to say. That's all right. I'll take it. I'll take it because I know if one person's telling me I'm doing bad, someone else is going to tell me I'm doing good. But I don't seek that. Like I essentially want to be happy with what I've published and produced, you know? If I'm happy with it, you couldn't tell me shit because I did that. And then even when I'm hearing, if I just publish it, I'm like, what can I do better for the next one? Very quick. It's almost like I'm unsatisfied. But I tell myself to be satisfied so we can, you know, do it all in the name of learning and growth. Just a few things that stood out to me. Where we at with time here? 8. Already been on for almost 2 hours. Okay. Doing pretty good so far. Let me see. Take a... John, are you present? That's okay. Moving on. Right. Huh? I got a Christmas cookie. All right. Moving on. So, what I expect for 2024. For one, I want my viewer count and followers to double by next year this time. I want to interact more on the socials. I want more interaction from my viewers and followers. Have more fun, you know, have more chat conversations, Discord conversations, Facebook conversations. Twitter, I can see why. I can see why there's not. I hate posting them. I will take the opportunity to put out 1 to 2 club mixes next year. I will have my song finished. The thing is like I'm always thinking a new one, so I'm never going to be completely finished because I will always start a new one. But I want to follow up with my original plan to have 8 to 10 finished. We're gonna be in the Tekken 8 tournament. That's just make it happen. be in a tournament, sometimes they like require you to be on PlayStation. I don't want to buy 2 copies of Tekken. I gotta play my cards right with that one. I gotta do some research. Finalize social pages. So I know my Twitch, I'm trying to finish it. It was very tacky to, when you visit the page and you scroll down in the About Me, there's this big ass money sign that says donate. Tacky. I did it because my brother was wanting to. He wanted to be my first dono. And we had to separate because he was watching, and like I did it and he wasn't able to hop back on for a couple weeks, and I forgot about it. And then one day I went to like look at the page and I scrolled down, I was like, this is obnoxious. Because it wasn't just small, it was the size of my hand. Like, you go down the page and you scroll, the size of my hand, a dollar sign that says donate. Pompous asshole with like, mediocre content asking everybody to donate money. Let's see. Hopefully with getting a job again, I can get all the necessary DJ equipment. That's for me. Start building a PC, because the shit that y'all want requires a whole lot more than what I got. I want more though. I really do. I want to learn how to build a PC the right way. And then more in-depth podcast topics. And also more spotlight social content. I realized that as I was jumping on that, like, I've been telling myself this, but I don't know, like I said, I have an issue with putting myself out there to people, and it's not that I'm worried about being rejected. It's the fact that I have to do it, and I feel like I'm wasting people's time, or I'm not what they're looking for. I don't know. It's a weird thing that I go through up here. So I'm actually, I say that I want to double the viewer count and the followers, but I'm still learning how to, like, be completely honest, I'm still getting comfortable with the fact, like, there's, like, to have a chat that's like popping, like there's so much going on, I have to get used to that. Because I'm the type of person who's like, as you've all seen, I'll be talking and I'll see the chat, like somebody will say one thing, I'm just like, yeah, and then oh, they said this and that. I'm already getting used to I'm still trying to like get used to the fact, like, let that shit roll until my thought process is done, and then find a moment to look back at the chat. Like, I'm still trying to refine that skill. But with 1 follower comes 5, with 5 comes 10, with 10 comes 20, with 20 comes 40, with 40 comes 80, with 80 becomes 160. I'm just trying to get to a point to where people understand that, I don't know, I feel like I've got something to provide to people. For all ages. Not gonna be one of these screaming ass streamers, loud as hell for no reason, doing weird shit. Got some substance. More interaction on the socials. Again, I'm still getting used to being back on the socials, and I don't want my phone blown up because I made a post and everybody likes it. Like, I don't know what it was, but my phone defaulted to have Facebook just vibrate. I don't know if that was just like that's a thing, or if it just defaulted on its own for me. But instead of getting like the sound notification, I just get it to vibrate. which helps because a lot of times my phone's not in my pocket, and then my pockets are like too loose to feel the vibration most times. So I have to look at my phone to see that I've gotten a notification on social media, but I'm just not ready for it to be being. That's why I don't have Twitter on my phone. I don't have an Instagram account at all. Discord, I don't think I have signed in. But I don't know. I just don't want my phone going off telling me shit that I don't need to know at the time. Like now I'm starting to get people like it'll show me that someone posted links. I'll find out later. I don't care. Pretty sure I can adjust those notifications in the app or the on the computer, but I don't ever think about it. 1 to 2 club mixes. Just being able to show my versatility. And I like doing the past what 5 6 years now, about 4 or 5 years now. I've been doing like New Year's Eve mixes, and like I want to be able to put out more mixes so people can understand what I'm capable of as far as my skill. Because if I'm not gonna be out there putting the word of mouth out that I'm a DJ and I'm great, I at least have something to fall back on. When people are like, "Oh, you DJ? Do you got anything I can hear?" Yeah, check out my page. That's what I want to be like. Finish songs. I've already gone over that. We need to talk about that. Finish it. Everything is kind of self-explanatory. So all the necessary DJ equipment, this stuff is expensive. It is an expensive hobby. And just I've got some outdated stuff, and as technology does, older stuff gets obsolete, and then you need new stuff, but getting new stuff is hard because unless you're going pawn shop searching, or like if you have the credit or the money to finance equipment in full. And of course, I'm not the working one. But even still, bills. Kind of hard to save up for something that you want. But yeah, being able to fully complete my arsenal, which isn't a whole lot. I don't actually want a whole lot. But yeah, as far as equipment goes, being able to complete my arsenal will be phenomenal. Building a PC, I've really been interested in doing for a while, but I like this couple months, I finally opened up my computer. Like for the first time, I finally opened it up. Seeing the inside of it, I'm just like, oh, okay, not so bad, right? And then I had to install the GPU. My stepdad was cool enough to give me, the one that he just had laying around, and I installed that. So much better, but it was kind of confusing. But it's just to be able to do something like that, and then knowing the performance you want, how you want things to look, and everything. Just I'm all for it. I'm all for it. All right, so actually, let me do. I'm going to go ahead and open up the guest star feature. Alright, so I've went ahead and opened up the request for anyone who wants to join in. Um, so while that's on, to wrap up my session here, why 2023 mattered to me. Well, with my personal growth, I'm genuinely happy. Like, I used to have a lot of doubt. I used to have a lot of thoughts that wanted to inhibit my being. I don't really have those anymore. I'm proud to say that I've been able to go most of this year, and knowing I want to keep going. You know, I want things to keep going, and sometimes I look forward to days. Nah, you're good, man. It's all good. But yeah, no, things are a lot easier to deal with, and things are easier when you remove things that made it difficult. And if it's people, in the moment you may be like, oh, you know, I don't want to be that person to do that to people. Well, people are doing, well, that's not a good reason. It's knowing that you don't need to put up with people's stuff. And your soul will tell you that, because every time you get around someone, it may be just that you don't want to be around that person, or maybe, you know, not so much. But no, overall I can say my mental stability and just where I'm at physically, all around, I'm pretty good about. I'm pretty good. Let's see, being able to watch my kids evolve. That one was a big one, because when you have kids and you have to like take care of them, like, if you don't take the little moments that allow the little funny moments to be funny, allow the serious moments to be treated right, it's all about the little moments. I can't really explain it. It's just nothing like being present when you're able to just like sit there and watch your kids evolve like fucking Pokemon. You know, like here they were, and it's really cool to have pictures, and how like social media reminds you that like a year ago today, you could be looking at your own 1-year-old and be like, oh, you little shit. And then like social media will be like, oh, 1 year ago today, you posted a picture, and it's like your kid's born. And you're like, oh, you turned into this crying fussy ass shit to this whining, terrorizing shit. But you're my little shit. Like, it's I didn't realize that my most recent son, we know that he's like 1.5, but like the year just gone. What was it, laugh? Yeah, like, just to know that he's walking. He was like, he did everything so fast because he's got older brothers, but like he's now trying to, like, he'll grab the toothbrush and he brushes his teeth. Our second son, we had to fight him to brush his teeth. And our first son doesn't know how to leave the damn toothpaste alone, but he'll brush his teeth too. It's like seeing them take interest to see what you're doing enough to want to do it too. A lot of times it could be annoying because it's like you have no idea what you're doing and you're messing things up. But then there's those little times where it's like, I see my son grab the toothbrush and he's actually putting the bristles to his teeth, and he's going back and forth like he sees you do, and then he smiles. But then he goes to suck on the the toothbrush and suck all the water and toothpaste out. All right, give me the damn toothbrush. Or like I think knowing that you're on your last kid, and just to see him start learning how to say words a lot more clear, how to form words. What up, Keys? Um, again, my youngest son, he's starting to form clear words now, and he's starting to be able to repeat well. My second son, he's starting to say clearer words, and he's being potty trained now. He can actually take himself to go pee. It's pooping that we're having the issue with. My first son, beyond his 13-year-old attitude, being a 3-year-old going on 4, quite intelligent himself. I've got a pack of intelligent young boys that I know here soon, when they're all of age of being able to walk and comprehend. I've got to start teaching them how to be men. And it's not crazy to think that, because the whole what was the word? There was always rite of passage. Yeah, the ideology of rite of passage has always been for young kids to from boy to man. Normally within the ages of 9 to 13. Whenever your father or your people, your community thought it was time, you go through rite of passage and you become a man from a boy. So it's not crazy to think that I have to do that, but I guess for the times that we live in, there's so much more to prepare for. So much more to be aware of. So, and knowing that they're all they all fight with each other now, but in the house, under normal circumstances, you guys can fight each other. But you leave this house, it's not a fight against each other, it's a fight against the world together. And whoever wishes to stand by your side, you take them in. Whoever wishes to stand against you all, you let them know. It doesn't have to be this way, but you won't stand down. What I need to do, what I told myself to start doing, is writing things down just in case something happens to me before I can get any information to my boys to where they can comprehend. Anything that I've learned that I know is substantial and firm, or I feel like is right and just, immovable, I want to be able to write it down and apply it to them, so if anything does happen to Dad, they can read what I wanted to learn, or what I wanted to teach them, what I wanted them to learn. Key says, nobody really does that anymore. What would you say would be a rite of passage to manhood as a father? In this day and age, yeah, that's a good question. Because normally, for what we hear now is doing something on a car, like changing the tire, or changing oil, or helping make something, or going fishing. That's stuff that now guys do with their sons to oh, you're a man now. For me, I have to that one's tough, because I can't even say I think about it, because I really don't even know. That's a good one. That is a good one. Because it has to be something that'll test the fact that they want to push for that, but nothing to the point to where they can't handle it, and it has to be fair for all of them. Because we, as men, we seek the purpose. We seek purpose. So I think if I can understand each of my sons and what they believe is going to be their purpose, and if I can mesh one ordeal into all of them, I think I'd be able to understand what that would be. But essentially, it would have to be a test for them to understand this is what changes you from the rest. Um, Something that'll resonate with them for the rest of their lives in a positive manner. I'm really trying to think of what I would like that to be. What about you, Keys? What would be your definition of a rite of passage for today? I feel like, honestly, the best way to say it is being able to allow them to understand they have to take on some type of responsibility. Like, that's the best way into it. Yeah. Because not only are you explaining to them what, what you believe being a man is, give them the understanding that they can, it doesn't have to be that. Like, their idea of what being a man, like, give them some many ways that people view what a man actually is. Like, let them understand what an open definition is and what your definition is, and they can kind of like understand where to put themselves in that place. Yeah. Follow up question with that though. I think this would be befitting. Do you believe if you were to be the parent and you're able to, do you believe an allowance is necessary? And do you believe it's necessary with them having to do chores, like help around the house, or do you feel like allowance is necessary with just regardless? Like, they deserve a monthly income of your own hard earned just because. That's fair. I'm not sure though, because I feel like at any early age, especially for black men, you kind of got to grow up fast to make sure you make it home at night. That's true. But I guess yeah, it depends on where you're at. And you know what? To say that I guess that would fall upon taking responsibility at home. Because if you think about it in that sense, and not just like black men, but anyone who lives at home and like they have to take care of mom because dad's gone in jail or passed away. Um, the youngest or the oldest son, if the son's the oldest, sometimes it'd be like the daughter, but like the oldest child, especially the son, would have to take over the responsibilities of the house. And depending on how stable the mom is, has to take over whatever responsibilities she can't handle. Um, and that's not to say it only happens to moms. Dads do too. Because some people just aren't fit to do things on their own, so they use their kids. Um, but yeah, I think being able to have a steady responsibility and initiating your responsibility without having to be told to do so. That, I feel like in this day and age, as far as survival, discipline, and understanding, knowing you have something to do as your part in the home that you live in, and I shouldn't have to remind you. If you are expecting some kind of compensation for it, you need to do it when it's supposed to be done. I mean, and then of course it's like, oh, hey, come help me fix this car, come help me change this oil, you know, getting your hands dirty, knowing that, you know, is that right though? No, no, that wouldn't be right. I think I'd have to stick with the responsibility part. Allowance. I allow them to live in my house. I allow I allow them to eat up all my food. I allow them to just be kids and enjoy little responsibilities they have. But I'm all for chores because we all live here and share the space. Oh shit. That's fair. That's fair. I think the way we have to treat it now, because it's all about just I don't know, man. That's a conversation. Because I can't sit here and say that, you know, we're not raising our kids on survival, we're raising them to like, you know, live, but really it's everyone's got to survive because you never know what's going to happen to you if you have kids. Like I never know if anything's going to happen to me and their mom and it's just them. But we've got to have them understanding what's to come and when they're ready, you know. I think in due time, when your kid shows that they're ready to take on something, or when they're like, "Hey, I want this and that," you can implement what to do so they can understand the process of it, and not in a sense like, for instance, like, "Hey, like let's say your kid wants some video games, and you're like, oh, well, you know, you got to work for it." Okay, they have to understand to do the work in fruition, not to half-ass it, not to ask for help. If that's what they're wanting, they have to understand that it has to be completed, and then also hold the person to it that had offered it. Like you can't be the parent to be like, all right, go clean your room for a week, I shouldn't have to say anything, and then we'll talk about it. Be the parent who's like, hey, if you do this and I see that you're consistent, we can get it. Because if you're saying, oh, we'll talk about it, that's just allowing your kid to get their hopes up. And then you're just kind of setting them up to understand that people will just use you with with the fantasy that you'll be able to gain something from it. I think that's one thing that we can change as parents, because we've all been through it. Well, most of us have been through it. Most of us have had our parents say that, oh, it's not a discussion. It's either you gonna let me, like, this is a transaction, or you can continue to be my parent and do the parental duties. But I think all kids should understand when you're old enough to put on your clothes, you should be old enough to put your clothes where they belong. If you're old enough to eat off your plate, you should understand how to dispose of that plate. Put them in the right side of the sink, put them on the counter, and if you can tiptoe and turn the sink on, you can wash your own dish. You can wash dishes. I think that's one thing that people with kids need to understand. Like, start teaching your kids early how to, they're kids, but you're not taking their childhood away if you tell them how to, help you clean their own house. I've already got my kids helping me, because I'll make them clean up their own mess. And they need to understand it's not my mess that I made. I won't continue to clean your mess. You're gonna clean your mess up, and they do it. I call for the name. Hey, come clean your mess, or hey, come clean this mess, because they collectively did it. And they're like, okay. Oldest son would be like, oh, toys are clean. Okay, go to bed. Like just earlier, I was telling my son to clean his mess, because they'll eat and try to watch TV at the same time, making a mess all over the place. I'm like, I'm not picking this up. You're gonna pick it up. Get over and clean it. The allowance part, I feel like the allowance part should be on stuff that they do extra. Doing stuff that's you know, common sense is not to be rewarded. I think I can say that. Like, oh, Dad, I put my clothes up this week. Can I get some money? That's what you're supposed to do. Because I'm not going to be the one to continue to pick your clothes up. You know where your clothes belong. That is required of you. Put them up. You're not going to be rewarded for something you should be doing. Now, if you went out of your way to do something extra, oh, you know what? Go ahead. Here's $10. Or you guys have been on your best behavior, not giving me any issues. I'm feeling generous. Here's $10. Something like that. But like making some chores list or some chores wheel, and you be like, oh yeah, no, yeah, I did this and you didn't get my money. You get paid for that, bro. He says, I would agree with that because my dad would pay me to do extra jobs around the house. Okay, so that would be a good idea. Okay. That's good though. Yeah, that would be good. I'm gonna have to really think about that question though that you asked. Rite of passage from a boy to a man. Because I've got native roots, and I don't even know what Cherokees would do as a rite of passage. But I don't know. I don't need them going like above and beyond to go kill a rabbit or something, you know. Because I'll be honest, my oldest son, I think he's really gotten into knowing the slasher villains. He knows Ghostface. He knows Michael Myers. He knows Jason. He knows Freddy Krueger. He knows Chucky. He would watch YouTube videos any chance he got. He would like sneak past us knowing. Well, not me. I knew. I could hear it. I was paying attention to it, but he would sneak past us knowing that he was watching that stuff, and he'd like sit there. Sometimes he'll wake up early in the morning, turn the TV on, and then go to YouTube, and then because he liked scary stuff, he'd be like, I want to watch scary. And he likes Halloween stuff too. And I don't know what possessed him to get into slasher stuff, but he fucking loves it. And where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, because he likes the idea of knowing what a knife is, so I'm sure if I don't know, because he also likes animals, so I can't say that. I think my second son Azrin, he might be the one to kill an animal, because he likes to try to mess with my chickens. Not for real. I don't know what it was like that changed how I sleep, but whenever I hear something, I don't just like, you know how like when you wake up, when you hear stuff, you be like, that what is that? I don't know if it's y'all, but like for what I understand, normal people, they go that, and then you open your eyes and you're just like kind of looking around. As of recently, whenever I hear the subtlest sound and my conscious is aware of it, I'm just like I'll be like wide-eyed. I'll just like, what is that? What is that? What is it? I'll let my mind process it before I have to like get up, and then I'm like, okay, I know what that is. But no, my second son, he has this thing where he always tries to beat the chickens with the stick or something, or he like tries to poke them with it. I don't know what and why his obsession is with that. But he also picks them up weird. Like he'll pick them up by the neck or something. I laugh. It's not like he did it often. He did it like a few times, but at the other house we'd have them running around because our fences were a lot taller,
Even though they can hop and flap their wings enough to get them above, they wouldn't actually really try it. But like we'd all let them out and congregate with each other, and every now and then he's that second child of me and my wife. So he's that second child where like if you look away and you turn around, he's like, hey, no, stop that. So we turn around, looking at the yard, talking or whatever, and we turn back around. He's got a stick in his hand or he's playing with the dirt. Turn back around, turn around again. Next thing you know, he's like poking at the chicken or about to swing down on one. I'm like, hey, no. Just drops his head, drops his stick, picks it back up 2 minutes later, doing the same thing. With him, you gotta repeat yourself like 5 times. But yeah, that's the evolution of kids. I don't remember what I was talking about. The evolution of having children is watching them grow up to be a little shit that you were. Or your partner. All of them. All my sons are menaces. Oh my gosh, they get on my fucking nerves. Especially when they don't get their way and they have their own little like belt, screech, or scream to cry. Ugh, I just want to kick them all in the throat. But through all that, that's not an everyday thing and it's not an all day thing. Through all that, they do have their moments where I'm just like, I would be a proud dad, but I'm a man and won't show it. I'm playing. Nah, sometimes they get me to chuckle because I have to be the kind of stern, serious one because there's a lot of things that their mom will laugh at. I'm like, you can't laugh at that in front of them. Because of my kids, and like probably most kids, if you laugh at it and they did it, they'll keep doing it. Don't want that at all. Another reason why 2023 mattered to me is that my drive and or my passion has increased. I'm actually able to put efforts into what I want completed. I can put time into what I want done. Throughout the fall, a little rocky, but you know, I've had excuses. I've made excuses, I should say. Um, Holidays and the wedding and just overall shift in things and from the summer up, well, no, from the beginning of the year, especially in the summer, like everything that transpired, I was very proud of myself for. I've completed things this fall, I have, but things I wanted done or needed to catch up on, I'm still behind on. I'm just kind of like, but I know they'll get done. I like I said, I was telling Sean earlier, I pressured myself into a time frame, and because it's not met, I feel like I'm stressing out or overwhelming internally. But I'm. It was a time frame I put on myself, so you know, I try to keep up the consistency. So when things actually do get the ball rolling, I have that discipline. But you know, I'm still new to all this stuff, so I know things will get done. I'm late. I'm always late about everything, most things. It's late over here. I'm on Negro time. I also feel free. I feel more of myself. I know I was saying that I'm a refined version of myself, but not only am I refined, but I'm a refined version of the combined better parts of who I used to be. He says, use the stress as fuel, but don't hurt yourself. Yes, that's, yes, yes. And there's a positive way to do it. So for anyone who's seeing that and is like, how do you do that without hurting yourself? You don't see it as pressure, you know, you just see it as a challenge. If you can turn it into a challenge with the understanding that you have the possibility of completing it, then yeah, that is definitely to ignite the flame or combust it. But yeah, definitely, and it's easy to No, that's good motivation. Yeah, I don't say it's easy for negative thought. But yeah, no, I was saying that I'm more of a refined version of my former selves, but I feel like also I am a heightened, refined version of the positive aspects of who I used to be. Therefore, I feel like myself. Um, I feel like I'm back to like I've still got some goofy left in me. I have goofiness left in me. I can be goofy sometimes. I can be positive. I can be stern. You know, I can be very fluid with my emotions and my state of mentality, and not be there's no really confusion about it, but I also know when things get to a point of discomfort, I know how to alleviate myself from that discomfort and make it to where I'm like, okay, I'm back on track. I got this. See, I've come to see, experience, and within arm's reach, have many outlets and opportunities. Some have fallen off, and you know, the ones that have fallen off, I still take in a positive light. For instance, there was one that I had that I wanted Sean to be part of with me because he's been with me since day one, like you know, episode one, and that fell through. Not on my end, but I I was presented with an offer, and I knew there was one right around the corner that I didn't want. Point being is that I was firm about my stance on where I wanted to be because I knew, hey, I know I've got an opportunity dangling in front of me, but I want it to be the offer, an opportunity that is provided, not a hidden one. You know, I don't want stipulations to retrieve this offer, and that's why I fell through because I was firm about my stance on it. But all in all, I knew if I could get this person's attention, I'm getting people like that person's attention, age wise, mental wise. So I'm reaching more than who I think I'm reaching. And I was like, well, that no matter what happens with this situation, I know I'm good to continue for another year. And this is where we're at. I mean, I hit my moments where I have doubts because that's just me. You know, like doubts, they're uncommon. I won't say rare, but they're uncommon. But I know how to kind of get out of them. Sometimes I just need kind of voice it out to really get it out of my system because sometimes I can kind of like it's that precursor to the the depths, I guess. And one way of keeping myself out of that is to find my safety nets. Being able to talk through those is one of my safety nets. So, and also finding and using my safety nets more. Um, it's not even on my list, but that's one thing. Like I'm actually implementing the fact that I know I have some things to work through, and in order for me to work through them, I need to use the tools that I've been provided. Um, like my own emotional and mental workshop. I recommend finding if you have any issues such as my own, or if they seem to be a little more overwhelming than mine, find any workshops that you can. I say workshops like I go anywhere, but like it's just what I find best to keep me centered until I found that point where I can get myself out of the tunnel by following the light. And each time I stay a little more closer to the end of the tunnel where the light is, and I don't have to go so deep. Um, but those days will happen, you know. I'm not like completely where I would like to be, but I also know that those days will come. But I know how to pull myself out if that day does come, and a lot easier these days than before. Definitely a lot easier. So like I was saying, I recommend finding any outlets that you have, whether it be people, you know, events, the things that you can do, places that you can go locally, or depending on how severe your situation is. Try to find something that'll really just like keep you centered, find your peace, and then just walk through your steps of however it is you need to pull yourself out of that funk. For me, I have to do it in a timely manner, because if I let that thing go on for too long, it can start to seep onto it, keep on around. And of course, I have kids. I've got a wife. I can't do that. I've got a family, and I've got family outside of family. I can't continue to do that. Plus, I have friends. I can't do that to them. And then, even if I am able to hold it from feeling onto them, it's just taking on myself. And I remember what it was like to try to dig yourself out, and never want to go through that. But like I said, it's easier. It's a lot easier. So yeah, I'm thankful for 2023 bringing me that piece, so to speak. And then just the overall success rate, very positive. Like I said, I'm very, 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 very thankful for the 30 standing followers on Twitch, the 18 on YouTube. Got like 30 on Facebook right now, and a couple on Twitter. But I mean, it's not even the numbers. I just know if I'm able to make an impact to help someone, that's where the numbers really matter. As far as, I mean, as long as I can stay afloat around here, hey, I can do this for as long as I can. But to know that someone's learning something from my experiences, someone's being able to apply what I've experienced to their life, and it helps to the point to where they can share not only what they learned, but how they applied it, and then how they've added their own to whatever they're going through. Because there's so much going on, and we all should, I won't say need, but we all should be able to help one another. He says community, that's all it's really about. Thank you. And we have, I remember we have the same, like the like-mindedness about community. But if anything, if I could ask for anything in the world, I would want the definition of community to be implemented everywhere. Forget money. Forget economy. Be a community. Be the block that has a garden or two that everyone can pick from. Be the block that when someone's injured or needs medicine, y'all can put the money up and get that person the medication. Get the person the help that they need. Be the block that when you got kids, every kid gets at least one present. So they, it takes the stress off the parents of those kids. Like be that tight knit of a community, And whatever comes to mind that allows you to be that tight knit of a community, because when you're strong as a community, that makes you strong. It just makes you that much stronger of a unit. So when someone thinks they can come driving down your street with full disrespect, or someone's trying to rob one house, well, they've messed with the entire block. When someone passes away, everyone's kind of like, hey, I can help you get this, I can help you get that. Like there are so many connections that people have around you that you could use in your life that go wasted, because there people will sit on knowing they have connections, but they won't share that they have the connection, because it's all like, oh, it's hearsay. So if you go in and you embarrass yourself, you're embarrassing me also. But I think if we can all be a community and teach each other things that we need to know to survive, that won't be necessary. Because when it comes to survival, it's either you're all alone with who you got, or it's like you do become a community, and it's not always the case where the people that you got will last. It's not always the case that people you got and be fully trusted. And that sucks. Sometimes you can trust your neighbor better. You can trust your cousin that lives in your home. You can trust your neighbor better. You can trust your own brother or sister. You can trust your neighbor more than you can trust your own mother or father. Your neighbor can be trusted more than your family can trust you. But that's the end goal for what I'm doing. I've spoken about it in the first few episodes and trickled it through all up until now. I do have plans to build such a community in my city, to which I want it to be an infrastructure. No, is that the right word? I don't know. Infrastructure that is implemented throughout the entire world. Like, I want that to be, and you know, it's like the thing where it's like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. Yeah, you're all the same thing. Like, you all have fries, you all have nuggets. That's fine as long as people can understand, like, isn't it something to benefit off of as far as a financial gain? This is something to benefit off of, knowing that we can help each other as people. I have one long-term goal that I'm sitting on that I will probably take the year to share. I just have to kind of do more research and understand a few things, but there is one long-term goal that I do have when it comes to something such as that, that'll start with helping the needy. I hate calling them needy, but also helping those in need. Better way of saying it. That helps those in need, whether they're, you know, homeless, carless, jobless. There's gonna be something that I'd like to have as far as provisions for people who are in need. And then that branches off into being other things under the same name. Like, I want there to be a line of cars, like a line of vehicles that can be offered in small price range, but that's a reliable A to B car. And then, you know, there's a reliable truck, there will be a reliable SUV, very affordable, with reliable parts. And there will also be stations in major cities and small cities where the labor will also be reliable as well. Everything will be affordable and reliable, nothing cheap, nothing expensive, nothing cheap as far as the material, nothing cheap as far as the prices. Or sorry, not as far as the like just the overall, like, put together. Because think about it, everyone could use a basic car. Like, when we think about basic, we think about Honda from like from the 90s to the 2000s. We think about Toyota from the 90s to 2000. We think about Hyundai from the 90s to 2000s. Reliable, you know, basic, point A to point B, but won't die on you. But I would like a line of vehicles, and they're not going to be the greatest looking. Like, if anything, I could probably compare it to how the Tesla sedans look, but they won't look anything like that though. But just something that says I was able to get my point A to point B, because what matters is being able to get to point A to point B, you know? And everyone's able to get one. And I was even thinking, like, there could be a plan where, like, as like a package, this is probably like stretching, like very reaching, but there could also be like a package plan where you could get the car. No. Well, yeah. You get a car and a home. That's another thing I wanted to do. There was I wanted to, like, this is me thinking I'm gonna have, I want the success to be able to do this, right? Buying out cul-de-sacs, buying out where old houses are run down, you know, like buying out streets, blocks, tearing all the houses down, having them all redone, We're just restructuring the entire community. Things need to look better. They need to be better. They need more sufficient parts. They need just like walls. Like everything just needs to be turned around. Like revitalize the community and make them low income homes. Because if you can change how the community looks, change how it operates, so like you can say that there's a ghetto, but if you change how it looks, people won't call it the ghetto because you only know it's a ghetto because how it looks. But some ghetto ass people who are rich and you know, you can't really define the term ghetto because you only perceive it as the environment that you're in. Ghetto to me has a broad terminology, but I mean, it's not that I'd be the first one. Like you know, I see my city doing it. Like they're building new houses or new homes in certain areas, and it looks a lot better than what I remember it to be. But I think we could do better. We could pick up the pace because no matter who did what in their life, people always need a second chance. Even when people who've done hard crime, like there's an understanding that needs to be had about why they did it instead of just writing them off as a complete criminal. Even the ones that we call crazy and checked out, we don't know the depths of the brain, let alone knowing the depths of the oceans, of the waters, and on the planet, or even the stretches of the galaxy. And we can't just sit on labels. I understand I might sound crazy, but I'm not defending the actions of what people did, but we can definitely try to understand why they did it. But we gotta have that time. Like we have all this technology to put in our hands, to put in our homes, but we don't have the technology to understand how the mind works, how the, you know, frequencies and the thought process of impulse. All in, like I have a lot of ideas, some to which I could probably just pitch and, you know, get something in return of it, but I have a lot of ideas that are just, my thing is that I have a lot of ideas, but some people are just going to buy it and turn it into something of their own, and it, like by the time I see that idea into fruition, it'll be completely unrecognizable. And there will be some kind of clause that they bought it and I can't try to reproduce it and blah 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 blah. But the shitty part is that all these ideas require money, resources, connections, and being able to trust people to actually go, hey, this is a good idea, let's do all of it, or let's do it this way, you know, instead of saying, hey, here's a little bit of money, and then just flip it and then be like, oh, we'll put our name on it. Like I would like something far more structured for the people in need. I still want to do the combined efforts and idea provided to me by another friend of mine where we create like an epicenter, like a headquarters for the entertainment business here in the Midwest. Like a what do they call it? Like a record label studio or something like that, you know? And it'd go beyond just like record, like music. Like we'll, you know, teach classes, teach instruments and everything, and even have a venue for up and coming artists to perform at, you know, have new artist concerts all the time. Like there's just a lot of stuff that I'd like for people, but need the money. I need the resources, the connection. I need people to trust that there's something to work with, you know. Some people will look at an idea and go, I'm only going to see a return for 5 years, and then it's like, find a way to make it 10. Believe in me. If you see 5, make it 10. But, you know, I've got to start making blueprints. I've got to start actually drawing all this stuff out. It's all in my head. Let's see. Yeah, that's why 2023 was so important to me. All that jazz. Keys, while I have you, was there anything that you would like to share? Like an end of year recap? How did the year go for you?
Uh, why was 2023 so important? Is there anything different or new that you're expecting in 2024 other than that baby you have on the way? And then just overall, what do you like about 2023? I wonder what it would take to start a community garden. Find available land. Engage your community fund resources to support your community garden. Decide what to plant in a community garden plot. Prep and build the site. Determine rules and put them in writing. Maintain and grow your garden. He says this year has been rough. Not gonna lie, but I'm not sure what I'm expecting out of 2024. Just open to all opportunities. Also, who said I have a baby on the way? Nobody. I just wanted to slip that one in to catch you off guard. Also made you want to think about the partners you've had all year. Like, do I? Do I? That one was for me. No, sir. No, sir. All right. Not until I'm married. That's a good goal. That's a good goal. Keep it wrapped up, player. Well, I'm sorry I'm sorry to hear that you had a rough 2023. I very much hope that 2024 is much better. But it seems like, I don't know, being able to get to know you through this, I feel like I've seen some growth. I feel like, and like just talking to you, I understand like we're like very matched with intelligence, wisdom, and ideology, and I feel like there's a lot of promise for you next year. I feel like I can confidently say that. Like there's a lot, and when I say a lot, it could be big or little, but I feel like there's a lot of promise for you next year. So I hope that we can continue this ride, so we can keep each other updated on what's going on. Because I feel like if you stay on the focused path, which I know you know what it means to be focused, like your gut, your soul, your spirit talking to you, I feel like you'll do great. Things will turn around for you come February. February? February. February. I've never been able to say it the right way. February. February. Really be like that sometimes. I appreciate the compliments. I'll take both. I'm trying to get focused. Me too, man. Me too. I'm trying to get back on track. Um, but that's all it takes, man. As long as you know that you're putting in the effort, try a little harder each day. You know, turn a day into every few hours, turn an hour, few hours to an hour, turn 1 hour to 30 minutes. Next thing you know, back on track, man. It's just one step at a time, baby steps. Now, I got one more challenge for you. Try to say the word February. I had no idea. I'm lying. I knew it was spelled like this, but to actually try to say it how it's spelled, February. Who says it like this?
I've never heard anyone say February. I've always heard February. Right? February. February. Such a weird. Now I'm saying it. Like, you know, you ever have that thing happen where you say a word too many times it sounds weird? February. 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 Fucking stupid. Dumb month anyway. Here says it weird too. Okay, so for 20, all right, one more thing about 2024, and I'm about bounce. So, like, is there anything movie wise, video game wise, clothing line wise, food wise, like restaurant or anything, income tax, like, is there anything in 2024 that you're like, oh yeah, I'm waiting on that? Because for me, beginning of the year, January 26th, Tekken 8. I'm waiting. I need to make things happen to get that game for sure. But then other than that, like, I know everything else for me is only going up. That game is priority. Priority? Priority? Ooh, he says the King Kong and Godzilla movie looks dope. Yes, it does. It sure the hell does. I've always been a huge fan of Godzilla. Godzilla's always been my one since I was younger. GTA 6 in 2025. Oh. Oh man, that was crazy. The fact that they said they'll be released in there, like, it's another Final Fantasy 15. Like, it's taking so long, giving you little bits here and there. Who else? Cyberpunk did it too. Cyberpunk 2077 did it. They're like, oh, it'll be released this year. Ah, never mind. 2 more years. Oh, did we say 2? We meant 5. Scratch that. Oh no, it's coming out this year. Best believe it. We're getting everything set. Oh shit. Our release fucking sucked. Should have waited. Oh man, I wonder what they're waiting on though. I feel like there's gonna be another console release. That's why they're waiting on it. All I know is that it better be completely done. Oh man, that'll be such a heavy hit that Rockstar takes if their one franchise that everyone's been waiting for takes a dive like Cyberpunk did. That'll be dope though. I think I might get it. I don't know. 5 was really good. I really liked the story for 5. It was very immersive. What the fuck he say? He was like, what you say? Yes, haircut. Oh man, best line of 20 whenever it came out. No way. way. Are you serious? Grand Theft Auto 5 was released in 2013. Grand Theft Auto 5 was released September 2013 for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. November 2014 for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And in April 2015 for Windows. And in March 2022 for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Initially was released in 2013. I don't remember that. I remember it being like, oh, hey, we've got it for... I could have swore they were releasing it for Xbox One and... Oh, that makes sense. Damn, that's crazy. What? That's not real. When do I remember playing that? I think I was probably late getting it anyway. I think I was probably late getting it. I'm normally late getting the Grand Theft Auto game, so that's probably right. It doesn't seem like that though, because the graphics in the game were ahead of their time. I'm trying to remember when and where I played this game. I didn't start playing online until like last year, and I bet that shit was hard as fuck for you, huh? Because them people online do not make it easy. Oh my gosh. You know, I guess it was right. No, I think I got it around the time it was released because... Yeah. No. What the hell was I doing in 2013? Oh. Oh. Oops. My daughter was born. Oh, wait a minute though, but they didn't have online until when? They really don't. They be killing you for no reason, and young black man just trying to get his money. What? I have vivid memories of all this information, but I just don't remember it being so far back. That's insane. That's fucking crazy. Dude, no, I remember when I was trying to play online, I quit. I think I got to level 21 or 22. It was just very... I don't know, I think it was just very repetitive, but like the fact that you were so limited with what you had until like fucking level 50 or level 70, making scrap money. And then yeah, the firefights in the middle of... You know how many times I was trying to do my thing and then somebody stopped me at some intersection and then some weird stuff happens, like a plane crashes out on you for no reason, somebody's shooting a rocket just for funsies, grenades being tossed all over the goddamn place, and you just trying to survive. You hear Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder, survive! You don't, but... I can only imagine how it plays now. Holy shit. I like seeing the videos though where people like they act like cops and they act like they like really play out the entire thing where they get pulled over by cops and everything. That's pretty funny. Mark II oppressor is a straight menace online. Something keeps trying to pull me back to that game, and I'm just like, no. I don't want to see their bug-eyed faces again. 13. That is it. I just got stuck in thought trying to figure out where the hell I was when I was playing that game. I can't remember. I feel like I do though, but I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, buddy. But 10 years is crazy to think about. Cause yeah, dude, like for that game to go on for 10 years. And then just to think about everything, like how many DLC updates have they provided? There are over 40 DLCs in all, but only a few are important. Well, if you've been in over 10 years, I can see that. Shit. Oh my god, can you imagine how much money someone would actually put in to get all the DLCs for a 10-year span? Let's say each DLC is $30, right? Over time, 1,200. That's let's see, hold on. Game that has the most expensive. Oh, that's not even that bad. It just feels like yesterday. It does feel like to me, I thought that shit was released in like 2017. Just the way it plays. I feel like it was 2017. But that's not even the most expensive game. Number 10 on the list, GTA Online Diamond Casino and Resort Update, $800. Last year's Diamond Casino update in particular had some players up in arms. It was calculated that earning everything available through the update would cost around $63 million in-game, translating to about $800 in real-world cash. While gamers could potentially grind for everything, this was pretty obvious cash grab. Oh yeah, I remember one of these things being super freaking expensive. Like the in-game amount was atrocious. Dead or Alive 6 just above Grand Theft Auto's Diamond Casino Resort, with the entire game's DLCs being $2,051 for costumes, while the game's base amount was $60. Train Simulator, $10,373 for trains. Yes. Entropia Universe, $6 million from a game that came all the way back in 2003. And Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, incalculable. That's because they keep adding to it. Jesus. Oh my gosh. And then they want to charge $70 for a fucking game now. Get the fuck. Alright. Out of this chair.
Oh my gosh.
No way, Jose.
All right, we hitting that 9:30 mark. It was great having everyone here. For all those who stopped in, for all those who started watching, I appreciate you showing up and tuning in to everything me. But then also you. Um, very good turnout. I didn't. Very, very good turnout. I didn't fall asleep, and for the most part, I was focused, minus the distractions. Okay. But it was very nice to be able to do a recap of most things that kind of stood out to me this year. Also, great to see what stood out to my fellow peers. All in all, again, this was a pretty good year for me. In the long run, I had my downs, I've had my mids, and I've had my ups, but overall, I think it was pretty good. I mean, I had a little wedding gig, thanks to my sister and then her husband Josh. Got to put out some music. I got to create music with you guys. I got to stream. I started streaming, and it's pretty successful so far. So shooting for that 50, so I can become an affiliate, and then we can start talking some seriousness. But it's all work in progress. All a work in progress. But what time is, man? Keys, thanks for stopping in, giving me your time. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you around 2 weeks. Sean, as always, thanks for stopping by. Be seeing you this weekend. He says, be a blessing and stay blessed. Catch you later. And then off of that, yeah, everyone, thank you so much. You guys stay safe this weekend. Dress appropriately. Bring a jacket just in case if you go out. And then yeah, prepare accordingly for the holidays. I'm being your reminder right now. This video probably won't be out until January. Prepare accordingly. Financially and mentally, if you have to be with family that requires extra mental strength. But yeah, so coming okay, all the way down. All right. Coming up on our second week, we'll discuss, like I said, before Christmas. So we'll discuss some Christmas stuff. We'll discuss holidays, and then if there's any addition to whatever wants to be said about the year of 2023 or going into 2024, we can always do that. But we're gonna get a little jolly in this bitch and get a holiday special. Like, might even wear some Christmas shit. I won't. I'm lying. I won't. But yeah, I'm gonna hit the meat and let me get the hell off here. Damn chair. All right, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all.